welcome back. Today, we're doing something a little different.
Yeah, shifting gears a bit.
Exactly. Because usually when we talk about ancient history, especially, ancient Egypt, we look at it through this lens of, well, us, but with less technology.
Right, the standard postcard view. You've got pyramids, mummies, camels, lots of sand.
Yeah, that's the drill. They stacked rocks, worshipped the sun because they were afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
But the stack of research we're diving into today, these texts on Egyptian astrology and sacred geography, they suggest we have that completely backwards.
It's a total shift in perspective. The sources argue that everything we see on the ground in Egypt, the temples, the river, the pyramids themselves, it wasn't just for, living.
It was a machine.
It was a machine, a mirror of heaven designed for a very specific engineering purpose.
So that's our mission today. We're going to try and decode that machine. We're unpacking sacred geography and this phrase that, honestly, it just stopped me on my tracks. Stellar immortality. We're not talking about the afterlife like floating on clouds. We're talking about literally transforming the human soul into a star.
An imperishable star, to be precise. It's a very technical term in the texts, and that's what makes their goal so different.
Okay, so let's get into it. The sources we have, they start by kind of dismantling a pretty big misconception. I always thought there were like two main teams in Egypt. The sun team, Ra, and the death team, Osiris.
And that's the common academic view. You see scholars arguing all the time that these were competing theological systems, the solar cult of the living versus this gloomy god of the underworld.
Or like a political rivalry.
Exactly. But these sources, they argue that if you really read the texts carefully, that competition is a complete illusion. They weren't rivals.
They were partners.
Even closer. Think of them as two parts of a single functional unit. Two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
The texts describe Ra not just as the sun in the sky, but as the spiritual spark inside every person. That's your Ra. It's the pilot.
So Ra is the pilot, the pure energy.
Precisely. And Osiris represents the vessel. Osiris is the process of that soul navigating the material world and, the underworld, the Duat.
So the Osiris part of me is the bit that deals with traffic, gets tired, and eventually dies.
And crucially, navigates the darkness. The metaphor they use is the sun's journey. During the day, it's Ra, pure light. But at night, it travels through the underworld. It enters the dark. In that state, it becomes Osiris.
So you go into the mud to find the diamond.
That's a great way to put it. Becoming an Osiris is the method to liberate the Ra within.
It's an extraction process.
Yes. There's a line from the Book of the Dead that calls them the twin souls that inhabit the two fledglings.
The two fledglings. That reminds me of that Greek myth, Castor and Pollux.
You're spot on. That's the exact analogy the text draws. One was mortal, one was immortal, but they were twins. You can't have one without the other. It's this unitary vision of who we are.
So if I'm an initiate, I'm not praying to Osiris. I'm trying to be Osiris so I can launch my inner Ra.
Precisely. It shifts religion from devotion to mechanics. It's a procedure.
Okay, so let's talk about the launch. If the goal is to liberate this spark, where is it going? I always assumed it was just to be reborn like the sun, rise every morning.
And that's where the sources make this crucial distinction, being like, the sun is good, but it's not the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
What's wrong with the sun?
The sun sets, it dies every single evening. It's trapped in a loop.
Oh, right. It's cyclical. It's not permanent. It's Groundhog Day.
That's it. That's conditional immortality. The ultimate goal was definitive immortality. They wanted to go where the sun never sets.
And there's only one place in the sky like that.
The north.
The circumpolar stars. The ones that just spin around the North Pole.
Yes. From Egypt, those stars never dip below the horizon. They never die. They are literally the imperishable ones.
So north isn't just a direction on a compass. It's a state of being.
It's the zone of eternity. And that's why everything is so obsessively aligned to the north. That's home. The sun is just the ferry to get you there.
And the notes mention the Milky Way here. The celestial Nile.
A river of light. The soul has to sail this river to get to the pole. But you can't just hop on anywhere.
There are gates. I saw Capricorn and Cancer mentioned.
The cosmic doors. Cancer was the gate of men. The door souls come through to be reincarnated, the indoor.
The arrivals terminal.
Right. And Capricorn at the winter solstice was the gate of the gods.
The exit.
The exit. And there's this amazing astronomical detail here. On the winter solstice, the sunrises align with what we call the dark rift of the Milky Way.
Which is the galactic center.
Filled with black holes. But to them, it was a literal dark portal in the sky. The soul travels through that portal to climb the stairs of light to the North Pole.
It really does sound like a flight manual. Exit through the dark rift, turn left at the Milky Way.
And you need a machine for that flight. Which brings us to the Great Pyramid.
Right, which the sources say is not a tomb.
Definitely not a tomb. They never found a body, no funerary texts. The argument is that it was a machine for initiation, for soul travel.
Let's talk about the shafts, these little tunnels. They aren't for ventilation, are they?
No, they were sealed. They're
Right.
they're targeting scopes. The alignments are incredibly precise. The King's Chamber shafts point north to Thuban, the pole star back then, and south to Orion's belt.
So north to the destination and south to.
Orion, Osiris, the start of the journey. And the Queen's Chamber underneath points to the little bear. All of them are indestructible stars.
It's a triangulation system, locking on to the signal.
Exactly, but there's a twist in the machinery. There's another character involved, and it's usually the villain, Seth.
Seth, the god of chaos, the guy who murdered Osiris. He's a bad guy.
That's the pop culture version. But these texts, they highlight a line from the Book of the Dead where Seth is called the backbone of Osiris.
Backbone, that seems contradictory. Why would the hero need the villain as a backbone?
Well, think about it. You can't have ascent without resistance. A bird can't fly without air pushing back. Seth is that resistance. He represents the tests, the obstacles.
So he's not evil, he's the final exam.
He is the final exam. Astrologically, he's linked to the constellation Draco the Dragon, which wraps around the North Pole. To get to the center, you have to get past the
You have to
dragon.
master it.
You have to master it. And they had a ritual tool that proves this, called the ads. You see it in the opening of the mouth ceremony.
Right, they use it to touch the mummy's mouth.
Yes, but look at the shape. It's shaped exactly like the Big Dipper, which they called the thigh. And these tools were often made of meteoric iron.
Iron from the sky.
Metal from heaven, literally. So you have a priest holding star metal, shaped like the northern stars, touching the initiate to untie the bonds of matter. It's magical engineering.
That's wild. It's like a physical interface to program a spiritual journey. Speaking of interfaces, we have to talk about the Dendera Zodiac.
The famous bas relief, one of the most beautiful artifacts in Egyptology.
I've seen it. It looks chaotic, just animals and gods everywhere. But it's a map.
It's a spiral map of this process, of osirification. It starts on the outer rim in the south. You see Sirius as a cow, and Orion, the walker.
That's the starting line. The world of duality of life.
Correct. As you spiral inward, you move through the zodiac until you reach the center, the north. And what's waiting there?
The imperishable ones.
3 key figures. The hippopotamus goddess, Ipet, representing Draco. The thigh, or the Big Dipper. And right in the dead center, a jackal.
Anubis.
The form of Anubis on a plow. The text calls it the mooring post of the sky.
Mooring post, like where you tie up a boat so it doesn't drift.
Exactly. The soul navigates the celestial Nile and finally moors its boat at the eternal, unmoving center of the universe.
It's all about navigation, not worship. But I want to go back to the start of that spiral series. It was important for the Nile flooding, but the source says it was way bigger than that.
Much bigger. This gets us into the cosmic engine part of the text. We have to talk about the precession of the equinoxes.
Okay, unpack that for us for anyone who's not an astronomy buff.
Okay, simply put, the Earth wobbles like a spinning top. Because of this wobble, the North Pole points to different stars over a very long cycle, about 25,920 years.
Right. And the standard explanation is that it's caused by the gravity of the moon and the sun.
The lunisolar theory. But our sources present a much more radical idea. The binary star theory.
Binary star, as in two suns.
In a sense, the theory suggests our sun is in a binary system with Sirius, that our whole solar system is moving through space in this complex dance with Sirius.
So the wobble isn't just the Earth tilting on its axis, it's the whole solar system moving.
The whole building is moving. The source uses that analogy. The standard theory is like saying the skyline is moving because you're tilting your head. The binary theory says no, the entire building you're in is turning.
And Ceres is the other building we're dancing with.
Or moving with. Sirius is upstream in our galactic arm. They called it the sun behind the sun. It was seen as the spiritual source for our entire system.
The sun behind the sun. That gives me chills.
And this is where sacred geography just lands perfectly. They stamped this cosmic map directly onto the geography of the Nile.
As above, so below.
A literal map. There's a place called Big Island, considered the mythical source of the Nile. It had 365 altars and was aligned with the thigh, the Big Dipper. It was the earthly anchor for that celestial power.
And it wasn't just one island, right? What about that Deresi map?
Georges Darcy. He studied the nomes, the provinces of Egypt. He found that each province corresponded to a specific zodiac sign or planet. Egypt wasn't just a country, it was a terrestrial zodiac.
That is an incredible commitment to an idea.
Total integration. And this was all maintained by the goddess Seshat.
The one with the, it's like, well, it looks like a leaf on her head.
It does. It's a 7-pointed star. She was the goddess of architecture, math. She helped the pharaoh stretch the cord to align the temples.
Stretching the cord sounds like construction.
It was the foundation ritual. But her headdress is the key. It represents the 6 standard directions: up, down, left, right, front, back.
The 3D world.
But there's a 7th point, a 7th direction.
Which is?
The inner direction, the opening of the sky. It connects the center to the divine. Seshat's job was to make sure every temple was a functional portal.
She makes sure the Wi-Fi works.
Exactly. And guarding this whole system, you had the 4 helmsmen of the sky, the royal stars.
Aldebaran, Antares, Fomalhaut, Regulus.
And they guarded the 4 cardinal points. But look at their symbols. The bull, the eagle or serpent, the man, and the lion.
Wait, hang on. Bull, eagle, man, lion. I know those.
Where do you know them from?
That's the Bible. The cherubim in Ezekiel.
Okay.
And wait, the 4 evangelists?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. In Christian art, they are almost always symbolized by the man, the lion, the bull, and the eagle.
No way. You're telling me the symbols for the gospel writers are actually ancient Egyptian stellar coordinates?
It's a direct lineage of symbolism. These were the pillars of the sky long before they were adapted. Everyone was reading the same map.
So, after all this, the theology, the pyramids, the maps, it feels like the Egyptians were living in a completely different reality from us.
The sources call it a golden capsule outside of time. Every river bend, every temple, every ritual was a functional link to the stars. They weren't just worshiping the sky, they were actively trying to navigate it.
Life was just the launch pad.
Exactly. The goal was to build a soul strong enough to survive the journey, pass the dragon, and dock at the imperishable center.
It really does change how you look at everything. You're not looking at dead history, you're looking at a flight manual.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Before we go, there's one last thing. The Ankh. Everyone knows the Ankh, and it means life, right?
That's the translation. But let's look at it with these new eyes. It's a cross with a loop on top.
Right.
The sources suggest it's actually a map of the polar gate. The cross is the cardinal directions, the material world.
And the loop.
The loop is the path of the circumpolar stars, the circle that never sets, the rope that ties the soul to the eternal pole.
So holding the Ankh wasn't just wishing for a long life on Earth.
It was holding the key to the exit door.
Wow.
It was claiming your citizenship in the stars.
Well, that is a provocative thought to leave you with. If the ancients viewed life as just preparation for a stellar voyage, are we maybe missing the point of our own geography by only looking at the ground?
It's an important question.
Thank you for taking this journey to the center of the sky with us.
My pleasure.
Keep looking up. You never know who or what is out there dancing with our sun. We'll see you in the next deep dive.